We just spent 7 days exploring the old medieval city of Vilnius and countless hours planning the trip. We're now providing you with everything you'll want to know, including how do you get there? Is it safe? Cash or credit card? Can you drink the water? Hidden gems? When to visit? I mean, really, if you come away with this still having questions, just give this video a thumbs up. I'm not saying we know everything after spending a week here, but we visited more churches in the city than most people do in a lifetime, and frankly, it's exhausting. This is the Vilnius City Guide. Let's go!
I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life.
Without wasting any more time, let's dive right into the essential information on the city. So how do you get there? From Vilnius International Airport, the best option to getting into town would be taking a rideshare, using either Uber or Bolt. Bolt was our preferred option, especially when traveling with luggage, since wheelie bags don't fare well on those cobblestone streets. Can you drink the water? Why, yes you can. Vilnius tap water has some of the cleanest you'll find in Europe. What's the language? Lithuanian is the official language, but English is widely spoken in the Old Town. Is it safe? The city is very safe, with one of the lowest crime index numbers in all of Europe, making it one of the safest cities to visit for solo or female travelers.
Take a bite out of crime.
Well, when's the best time to visit? May through October is the ideal time to visit the city, and July and August will be the busiest time for tourism. But if you really enjoy those cold, wet, and never-ending cloudy days, please visit during February or March, just like us. What's the power outlet? The Type F power socket is used in Lithuania. If you're visiting from America, you will need an adapter. But what are the prices like? By European standards, Vilnius has some of the best prices we've seen. Hotels, hostels, Airbnbs were all well below what we've come to expect in Europe. But as for food, drinks, and transportation, Vilnius still has very inexpensive prices, even at the city's most popular Lithuanian restaurant, Etnodvaras. Speaking of prices, what's the currency? In 2015, Lithuania finally adopted the euro as its currency, and here's a tip. Avoid using currency exchanges and grab all your euros from ATMs that are widely available throughout the city and in the airport when you arrive. Cash or credit card? By far the majority of places we visited accepted credit cards. The only exception to this is if you're buying something from a local market, using a public bathroom, or buying from a small street vendor. Do you need a visa? Currently,
as of 2025,
the only thing North Americans need to visit Lithuania is a passport, and you can stay up to 90 days at a time. But if you're watching this video from the future, first off, hello.
I'm from the future.
Yeah.
Second off, you'll need to fill out a ETIAS that costs around $8 US. How long should you stay? Having stayed in Vilnius for 7 days, you could easily cover most of what this city has to offer over a 3-day period. Do you need to wear anything special? With Vilnius Old Town having one of the most church-dense areas in all of Europe, wearing modest clothing to cover up your shoulders and knees is highly recommended.
recommendation.
Can you drink alcohol in public? You cannot drink booze in public, and shops will stop selling alcohol after 8 p.m. But there are a bunch of outdoor bars and patios where you can enjoy a drink. Is there tipping? A 5 to 10% tip is standard for most restaurants if service is not already included into the bill. Credit card readers won't have the option to add a tip, so you have to tip in cash. There's no tipping for taxi drivers, and in bars and cafes, tipping will be optional. Finally, a little random bit of information you should know. Stores will post their hours of operation based on the numbered day of the week. So instead of Wednesday 9 to 5, it'll be number 3, 9 to 5. And that, my friends, is the essential things you'll want to know before visiting the city of Vilnius. Vilnius has a large international airport where most tourists will be arriving from. From there, the Old Town is only 6 kilometers away, and you have a few different options of getting there. You can take a train that leaves once every hour or two. You'll want to visit the link below to see what time the train actually leaves compared to when your flight lands, so you aren't sitting around for hours. The second option is taking one of the more frequent buses that leaves around every 10 minutes or so. The Express Bus 3G
Stay connected.
will get you downtown in only 20 minutes, and it'll cost almost the same as the train. You can pay by using a tap-to-pay credit card or smartphone directly on the bus. The third and most expensive option is ride shares. Even though it's the most expensive, the prices are pretty reasonable. and they can drop you off at the doorsteps of your accommodations instead of walking the old town with your wheelie bag.
You have a wheelie bag? Well, I have a wheelie bag.
Now that we're in the city, you just need to figure out how to get around. Luckily, Vilnius offers a wide variety of options to explore the town. From the hop-on, hop-off buses, bike rentals, scooter rentals, ride shares, and previously mentioned
Wheelie bag.
the best option is obviously
Walking.
with the small bumpy cobblestone streets and the old town encompassing around 2 miles. Walking is by far the best option to explore Vilnius's old town. There are a handful of sites to see that are a little further out, like the old prison or the local farmers market, but if you're only staying 3 or so days, it's unlikely you'll have enough time to visit these. This is our required list for anyone looking to visit Vilnius, especially if you only have a day to do it. And the best way to kick things off is the neighborhood where almost all the must-sees are found, the Vilnius Old Town. In this area, you'll find one of the largest and best preserved medieval old towns in Northern Europe. The entire area is a little bit over 2 square miles and was founded way back in 1387. Because the old town is so old,
Maybe sit the next couple plays out.
the architecture styles vary from Gothic to Renaissance to Baroque to Neoclassical, all standing side by side. The area also has a pretty bananas amount of old churches. 28 of them can be found in the Old Town, with Roman Catholic churches making up the majority of them. This is why Vilnius is known as the
City of Churches.
3 of these churches actually make our must-see list, like St. Anne's Church. This is a Gothic masterpiece that was completed in the year 1500. The intricate Gothic architecture is made out of 33 different bricks and one of the most iconic structures in all of Lithuania. Apparently, when Napoleon took over this region, he was so fascinated by the beauty in this, he wanted to take the entire thing back to Paris. The next must-see church from the
City of Churches.
is the Gate of Dawn, which oddly enough was built into one of the original city walls and is now the only gate remaining. The Gate of Dawn contains an icon of the Virgin Mary, which attracts thousands of pilgrims from around the world. Unfortunately, no photos or videos are allowed inside, so...
Video not provided.
And the final must-see church on our list is the Church of St. Peter and Paul, which you'll find just on the outside of the Old Town and puts all the other churches we've seen to shame. Built in the 1800s, the outside of this church is nice and all, but the inside is what really makes it special. The white interior features over 2,000 intricate stucco figures and is widely considered one of the most beautiful Catholic churches in the world, with some actually ranking it as number 1. This ship-shaped chandelier is made out of glass beads and is one of the most unique pieces we've seen inside a church. The next must-see is Gediminas Tower and Castle Hill. You can either hike up for free or take the funicular up to the top. It has sweeping panoramic views of the city and has a museum inside the tower for a fee. The Glass Quarter is a very narrow street filled with charming glassware shops, studios, and restaurants. It's a pretty quick area to walk through, so be sure to take your time and stop into some of the shops. The Hales Market is a food market pretty close to the train station and just outside the Old Town. The current marketplace has been in operation over a century. This market felt a little bit more geared towards tourists.
Tourism.
Stroll through the Užupis neighborhood, a bohemian self-proclaimed republic. The history in this neighborhood is actually pretty fascinating. I'll give you the quickest overview possible. Most of the city's Jewish population used to live here, but during World War II, 95% of the Lithuanian Jewish population was murdered by the German occupation. So the neighborhood was basically abandoned, with many squatters and drug dealers taking over the buildings. Eventually in the late 90s, artists moved into the area because of the cheap prices and transformed the entire place into a lively, artistic neighborhood, which is what it is today. And the last must-see on the list is the Bastion of the Vilnius Defensive Wall. This is a pretty fascinating place to visit. It was originally part of the city wall, fell into disrepair, turned into the city dump, and then completely forgotten about. It wasn't until 1965 when the Bastion was unearthed, reconstructed, and now turned into a museum which you can visit today. The nearby park also has great views over the city as well. Now if you really get your hustle on and start early in the morning, you'll be able to visit all of these within a day.
The language.
In Lithuania, the official language is Lithuanian, spoken by about 4 million people, but lucky for you, most of the locals also speak English, especially with people under the age of 40. All restaurants, museums, and historical plaques that we found throughout the city all had English sections. We'd recommend learning a couple words ahead of time to immerse yourself further into the culture, especially hello, which is sveke, and thank you, which is ashu.
Hunger.
The food scene in Vilnius is pretty interesting to say the least. It wasn't until 2024 when Lithuania made it into the famous Michelin Guide. And because Vilnius was recently recognized as one of the most affordable cities to visit in Europe, you can eat some of the best food around at much more affordable prices compared to Tokyo, Paris, or even New York. Having said that, the Lithuanian food worth trying mostly contains either potatoes or potatoes.
Maybe sit the next couple plays out.
We have cepelinai, which is a potato dumpling, bolvaniniai bolnai, which is a crispy potato pancake, vedarai, which is a potato sausage, and a dessert called kugelis, which is a pudding featuring
Potatoes.
Attractions.
Here's a handful of attractions available in Vilnius that may be worth checking out if you have the extra time.
Churches.
With 28 different churches within the Old Town, stopping at any of them just to peek inside is usually worth it. One of them being Vilnius Cathedral and Bell Tower. Both of these buildings are right in the downtown area, impossible to miss, and surrounded by so much open space. The Three Crosses Monument is an important monument on the top of Bakasis Hill with multiple viewing platforms, perfect for watching the sunset. The Poppies neighborhood. It's in the location of the former industrial area that now has modern cafes and a food market.
Video not provided.
Vilnius University has a few neat buildings, a church, and a courtyard worth checking out. The Kalvario Marketplace is a local marketplace selling basically everything imaginable. It's also located in the Šnipiškės neighborhood, which has a handful of old wooden buildings to check out as well. Palace of the Grand Dukes is a reconstruction of the former palace and is now a history museum. There's actually 4 different sections to this museum, and you could easily spend an entire day visiting all of them. The Lukiškės prison is a former prison that is now open for tours and concerts, but leave that camera at home because photos and videos are not allowed. The White Bridge is a pedestrian walking bridge that connects the old town of Vilnius to the new town. The Museum of Occupation and Freedom Fighting is in the former KGB headquarters, with the museum detailing the Soviet and Nazi occupation of the city. And finally, we have Vilnius Street, which you can find tons of nightlife, food, and bars.
When to go.
If you can't tell by now, winter is not the best time to visit Vilnius since everything is gray, cold, and cloudy. But there's also basically no other English-speaking tourists or mini tourists in general. The best time to visit would be from mid-April until the end of June, where all the plants, flowers, and trees will be blooming and the tourists will not have taken over the entire city. But if July and August are your only available time to visit, expect crowded streets and higher prices for your accommodations.
Where to stay?
There's 2 specific areas worth looking into staying while in town. First is obviously going to be the Old Town. You'll be centrally located to explore the entire city on foot and be able to take breaks in your room whenever you need one. You'll find most of the hostels and boutique hotels in this area, along with a bunch of Airbnbs to choose from. The other option is just across the river in the modern business district. You'll be surrounded by these large glass towers and basically no history and further from the Old Town. But if you just have to stay in one of those popular international branded hotels, you'll find them all here. And that, my friends, is the Vilnius City Guide.
For tourists, by tourists.